Students, open your book at page number 48, question number 5. We will briefly discuss these questions. Question number 5a. What genre of stories does Jenkins want the narrator to write and why? You know very well, Jenkins wanted the narrator to write ghost stories, and he knew that John Hallock always gave him wonderful ghost stories, horrible ghost stories. His ghosts were real propositions, as you have found in the book. Okay, so he wrote ghost stories. Question number B. Does the narrator like writing ghost stories? Support your answer with evidence from the story. I think yes or no both, but no more, because he did not have the ability to write ghost stories. He doesn't like to write ghost stories. He waits for ideas to come. When ideas come, plot of the story comes, then he starts writing. Okay, so he doesn't enjoy the ghost story as he should, because he knows that he is dependent on other sources. Actually, all of a sudden ideas come into his mind, then he is able to write the ghost stories. Okay, but the thing is that he is able to write ghost stories, so he is slightly overconfident. Question number C. What makes Helen the ghost and her other co-ghosts organize the Writers' Inspiration Bureau? Actually, it is a kind of welfare organization. They had organized this Writers' Inspiration Bureau to help out those writers whose minds are blank but soft enough to receive impressions from them. There were many ghost story writers who did not have any idea about the plot, about the storyline, setting of the story, all these things, but they were inspired by the members of Writers' Inspiration Bureau, and ghosts were its members, and they worked as a team. So in sympathy with those authors who were struggling to find plots and storylines, for these Writers' Inspiration Bureau was formed. Why had, question number D, why had Helen the ghost been helping the narrator write ghost stories? Why was she going on a strike? First of all, first part, why had Helen the ghost been helping the narrator write ghost stories? I have already told you. His mind was blank and his mind was soft enough to receive impression. Okay, he was one of those writers, so she helped him. Why was she going on a strike? Actually, she told him, Mr. John Hallock, you are not responsible. Responsible are the people who use Ouija boards. These people do not allow us to rest. We are called out of our beds more often than not. So we are disturbed again and again. Because of these people, we are on a strike, not because of your individual reason that you call us. Actually, you call me and I inspire you with the stories. So this is not the reason. You are not solely responsible, but those people who are called Ouija board fanatics, who they use Ouija boards. What condition did she place for providing continued help? They were on a strike, but she promised to him that she would help him on the condition that he would exercise his influence to stop people around him from using Ouija boards. Okay, understood? Question number E, students. How does the ghost undermine the narrator's faith in his ability to write ghost stories? Yes, she knew that narrator was dependent on her for the plots of the stories, for storylines, because he did not have the ability to write ghost stories. And this she exploited him. She tried to exploit him. If you don't stop people from using Ouija boards, you are not going to get any plot from us. Okay, so in this way she was able to undermine his ability to write ghost stories. Abilities he had hardly any, but if he had any false sense of self-confidence that he could write ghost stories on his own, she undermined it. You don't have any ability to write ghost stories on your own. You need our help, means help of the Writers' Inspiration Bureau. Question number F. Why does John want the ghost to disappear before his wife appears on the scene? As I told you, she is very susceptible to such things like ghosts and other things. Even rats and other small creatures terrify her. So he thought that looking at the ghost in her own living room can make her hysteric, and she would faint even. So that's why Mr. John wants the ghost Helen to disappear before his wife comes, because he knows that she would not be able to look at the ghost, because she looked scary. She had big fishy eyes, eagle nose, she looked like a scarecrow, and looking at her his wife might faint. He did not want this. What impression of his wife's character do you form from his words? Like any woman of her type, actually she is like that, you can't help it. Some people are scared of these things, and mostly people are scared of ghosts, including myself. Question number G. Why does the narrator hesitate to be a partner to Laura Hickle during the Ouija board party? Actually, first of all, on the back of his mind was the warning given by Helen the day before, that you must exercise your influence in stopping people from using Ouija boards. This was one. And if he himself participated in playing Ouija board, Helen would be annoyed, and she could appear at the party itself. Then what an embarrassment it would be. It would create such a chaos there, confusion there, and everybody would blame him that he had some connection with Helen. So actually this was the reason. He doesn't want to partner with Miss Hickle. Plus Miss Hickle's behavior she was a flirtatious woman, and John was a very loyal husband. He was very faithful to his wife. He does not want to be under any shadow of suspicion. Okay, he wants to come clean. He loves his wife dearly, so he did not want to partner with Miss Hickle. Question number H. What message does the ghost convey to the group that had assembled in the narrator's house? What is their reaction to the message? Actually, the first word that appeared on the Ouija board was traitor. Who was traitor? John was traitor. And then who blamed him? Helen blamed him. Both these words appeared. Okay, so this message she wanted to convey there at the party, that she had asked John not to allow the people to use Ouija board, and here was Ouija board party going on in his house. So he was a traitor, means he had gone back on his words. The ghost had the previous afternoon, she had warned him not to allow anybody to use Ouija board in his acquaintance. I mean anybody who is related to him should not use Ouija board. She had warned him, otherwise she would not give him any plot. And here in his own house an Ouija board party was going on. So she blamed him. She called him traitor. Traitor is someone who has betrayed you, who has not fulfilled his promise, who has not kept his promise. So she called him traitor because he did not follow her warning. She had warned him not to allow anybody to use Ouija board, and here was Ouija board party happening in his own house. That's why she called him traitor. And she also announced herself that she was Helen. This was the message that she wanted to give to the assembled people there, people who had assembled there. And what is their reaction to the message? They were doubtful about the character of John Hallock. John Hallock's character was above board, pure, but he comes under the shadow of suspicion. He had some connection with Helen, a woman named Helen. Okay, and his wife doubted him, and he had to leave the party in utter embarrassment. He had to leave the party. He felt very humiliated, and everybody blamed him. Okay. Do you agree with the narrator calling the assembly of women manipulators? Give reasons. Yes, manipulators means they were using the Ouija board wrongly, and they were manipulators is someone who takes advantage of the situation, who uses the situation in such a manner that he is in advantage. Okay, so these people were not honest according to him. Why John's wife angry? What does she decide to do? John's wife is angry because her suspicion fell on her husband. At the Ouija board party, name of Helen came up for discussion. Her name appeared. And then she felt that, and people convinced her that her husband John Hellock had some connection with the woman. That's why she was angry with him, and she was so angry that she had decided to break up with him, to apply for divorce from him. And she wrote, in her notes she had written that she was going to her grandmother's place and her lawyer would consult him. This means their relationship was at the point of breaking up. Why does John wish he were dead? But John, as I told you earlier, was loyal, faithful husband. Actually, what was happening? His wife was leaving him. His household was under crisis, and he felt that before all this happened, and no fault of his own, he was completely innocent. So he felt that he were dead before facing such a situation. When confronted by Lavinia about his flirtations over the Ouija board, John insists that affair was above board. I assure you, my love. The affair was above board. I assure you, my love. Bring out the pun in the John's statement. What is pun? Pun is a word game. There are two words here: Ouija board and above board. Above board means being clean, above the shadow of doubts and suspicion. So John says that his relationship with Helen was above board. There was nothing fishy about it. So people should not doubt him. So here above board and Ouija board. So here board has double meanings here. Okay, above board and Ouija board. It is the pun here. Question number M. John's apprehensions about his wife's reaction to the encounter with the ghost are unfounded. Justify. Actually, John had expected that looking at the ghost in his living room, Lavinia would faint. Actually, it has been mentioned in the question that this fear was unfounded because Lavinia did not faint. Lavinia laughed and reconciled herself to John again. So, but John's fear was real, genuine. He knew his wife. He knew that even looking at rats, his wife got scared. And looking at ghost in his living room, how would she react? His fear was real, genuine. But yes, ultimately in the story it turns out that she is not scared. She laughed and she was very happy that her husband could not fall in love with such ugly looking woman, a scarecrow or a ghost. So it is like that. So students, I have very briefly discussed all these questions, which is going to help you a lot. One thing more, so I remind you, be my subscribers. Please be subscribers so that I can help you better and long. And if you have any queries to make, write in my comment section and subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful day.